We all know that Idom is a monster. Capcom Cup champion, multiple first place titles at major tournaments around the country.
Bro, consistency, and oh, by the way, consistency. Winning combo breaker, then see, yo, can he do the trifecta?
Unfortunately, couldn't do the trifecta, but he got second place with the craziest Evo run ever.
Joey, Dankadias, Terrence, JB, Cien, Angry Bird, Mr. Crimson, Daigo, Tokido, Gachikun.
But what if I told you the things he was doing in Street Fighter League's 5th season were even crazier than you imagined? What if I told you that Idom's numbers make almost no sense in the context of literally every other player in the league? What if I told you the word domination isn't enough? Before we get into the video, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe and leave a like because it does help me a lot. These videos are tons of fun to make, but they're also a lot of work, so I'd appreciate it greatly. I'll even make a deal with you. If I manage to tell you one thing you didn't know before watching, you'll hit subscribe so you don't miss any more videos in the future. There's going to be lots more stuff coming like this, so with all that said, thank you and let's get into the video.
I do not want to lie to the people, so I have to ask you, am I sitting here with the best player in the world?
What do you want me to say?
Yes, I am sitting here with the best player in the world right now, none other than...
The playoffs for SFL US are around the corner, but before the season ends, I want to take a look at the most clutch player in the league at the moment. What Idom has done over the last 13 weeks is absolutely unprecedented, and might help us figure out how the playoffs are going to go down in a few weeks. To start, I'd start with the obvious. Idom's point distribution. Idom is the only player in the entire US League to play the anchor position every match that he's played. Each team has moved their formation around to suit the home or away advantage, but Team Endemic has relied on Idom to anchor for every single regular season match. There's 10 matches in the season, so it makes for a nice number to round everybody else's usage out. As of recording, the season isn't over, but we can tell that no other team or player will get to 100% usage in anchor matches. This gives Idom a huge advantage for garnering points. During their regular season, Endemic gained 245 points. Idom was responsible for 175. Shine's got 10, Do has 40, and GamerBeast got 20 for a total of 70. This means that Idom has 2.5 times more points than the rest of his team put together. In fact, as of writing this, he's got more points than all the other teams below second place. It's very likely he ends the regular season with more points than at least 2 teams, those being Red Rooster and Panda. The scoreboards might as well look like this. Yeah, you can't make this up. To get these points, obviously Idom has to win games and matches, but even when he does that, it's kind of insane. So, Idom's played 10 out of 10 anchor matches for Team Endemic. He's won 8 of those matches, only losing 2 to Pump. In the process, he's taken down Chris CCH, DCQ, Oil King, Angry Bird, Big Bird, Hot Dog 29, and a lot more. As of now, the only player with an anchor win rate close to that is Punk, but not all of his matches were best of 5, and he's got a fraction of Idom's points with only 70. Idom's win rate isn't the craziest part of this season though, it's how he wins. What Idom has done this season is set an insane standard for his consecutive win rate. It's not something anyone has talked about, so I want to make sure we dig deep into this one.
Allow me a moment to entertain you.
Consecutive wins would be winning 3-0, reverse 3-0, or maybe your opponent wins game 1 and you take games 2 to 4. That's winning through consecutive games. For example, Idom's first match was a reverse 3-0 against Chris CCH.
Oh my God! I legit cannot believe it. Chris CCH had it in the palm of his hands. 2 instances over.
So now let's look at what Idom's consecutive win rate throughout the season actually is, factoring for all the matches that he's won. This is disgusting. 6 out of his 8 wins came from a consecutive game win, meaning he's walking away from the season with a 75% CWR. 3 reverse 3-0s, a regular 3-0, and 2 counts of winning after being down 0-1. This feels illegal considering it's against world-class players. These aren't your average diamond players in rank. And while we're talking about this, I want to point out the craziest sequence we've maybe ever seen in Street Fighter League's history. The stage is set for a big rematch for Red Rooster. They're up 20 points against Endemic and are ready to take down the opposition. The only thing in the way is Idom.
This is the matchup that everybody was looking forward to from both teams. Can they reignite that spark that was before? Again, last game, last round was the results. Idom doesn't want to make it as close, but he does want that W to get the tiebreaker situation.
This time, Hot Dog has studied the tapes. He's been coming up with a game plan for possibly days at this point. The set starts off with Hot Dog taking an early lead after some wild back and forth. The major takeaway from the first two games is his defense. He interrupts when he needs to, blocks mixes, and uses all the defensive mechanics perfectly to stump Idom.
I actually spoke to Hot Dog outside the locker room. You know, he's still faithful and, he understands what his character brings to the table, likes that he's committed to it, and he wants to keep playing well.
His navigation around Thunderclap is also immaculate. He stands at ranges to trade and even punishes Idom's approach a bunch of times. Look at the spacing.
This guy has solved so many of the issues around Thunderclap more often than anybody in the league thus far.
Idom's struggling to close out a game. He can't break Hot Dog down enough for it to really matter. That is until Game 3. After Game 3, something clicks. Idom goes off and gives Hot Dog no room to breathe. Every single thing about Idom's offense gets better after Game 3. He whip punishes better, he gets more opportunity to mix, and he seems to guess right on everything. Idom went for 14 command grabs in this set, and every single one of them landed. What exactly changed between Games 2 and 3? I know Idom is, good, but he can't be that good. There had to be something more.
But he's playing really well, and he's playing really reactive. So it seems like he's ready for the claps. But it seems like the ground game bites him lower. It doesn't look favorable for you, especially if he sees you playing at the pace that he wants you to play, because he's very reactive right now. So I'm not telling you to go a little random, but he's definitely got a good timing on the pace you're playing at.
I couldn't figure out how Idom turned this around until I heard Knuckle Deuce say this. Hot Dog's defense was all centered around reacting to Idom, so what if he just did things Hot Dog couldn't react to? I figured if I pulled up the stats, we'd see something crazy like Hot Dog being defensively better and Idom's offense just being overwhelmingly good, but that's not the case. Idom's actually got a defensive spread that's arguably better than Hot Dog's. Once he got a little random, Hot Dog just couldn't keep up. Idom's offense is unrivaled as shown here. What's not shown is that Idom won 6 consecutive rounds against Hot Dog, while also turning in 5 consecutive stuns. In anchor matches, there have been 75 stuns total to date. Idom is responsible for 22 of those. That means he has 29% of the total stuns carried out in all the anchor matches in Street Fighter League US as of week 13.
Jesus!
I know that's a lot to take in, so let me just give you a bit of perspective on what I just said. Here's a list of players who have a consecutive round streak of 4 or more in anchor matches. Mena RD, Ajax Fidelity, DCQ, Angry Bird, and Idom. Makes sense. We've seen crazy sequences from all of them. And here's a list of players who have achieved 5 or more. It's just Idom. He's the only one to get 5, let alone 6 rounds in a row. And the craziest part is, he has done it twice. First time was against Chris CCH, a reverse 3-0 in week 8, and the second was a reverse 3-0 against Hot Dog, week 12. He's literally in a class of his own, and it's no wonder people are calling him the best in the world. His greatness has been no secret, and it's incredible to see him play in a league as organized as Street Fighter League that caters to his strengths. He's managed to almost single-handedly get his team to the playoffs comfortably, and I'm really curious to see what the playoffs will bring in a few weeks. Will iDomination be enough to secure an endemic spot in the finals at Capcom Cup? Only time will tell. As always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.